Hey guys, Jeff from Smokin' T-Jets. Got a fun project coming up here. We have a T-Bird, and it's a little push car. You know, you pull it back and it's spring-loaded and it'll go forward. But we're going to convert it into a slot car. Now, one thing you have to be mindful, guys, when you're looking at the Hot Wheels, when you're looking at the Johnny Lightning or the Matchbox cars, anything you want to convert into a slot car, be mindful of the wheelbase. You know, the wheel wells, they have to match up to the T-Jet chassis, or you're going to run into some problems. Okay, that being said, guys, these wheel wells don't match up. We are going to run into some problems, but I'm going to show you how you can get around them. All right, let me do this. We're going to start by gutting the T-Jet, and I'll show you what we have to do to make everything work. Just very quickly, you see that screw in the back there? That's the only thing holding the chassis onto the body, and it's a little, what do we got, a Phillips head? Often you'll get like a Johnny Lightning or a Hot Wheel, and instead of a screw, you'll get a rivet, and you got to drill the darn thing out. But this time, on this piece, this project, guys, we got lucky. All we have to do is we got to get rid of that screw, and the whole chassis comes out. Just a sec. All right, just remove the screw. The chassis comes right out, guys. The front and back bumper, they're ready just to come out. The chassis itself was holding them in place. Also, in the body there, what do we got? A steering wheel, the dashboard, that type of thing. That'll just pull out. So let me go ahead and remove the bumpers, because we're going to be removing some metal from the inside of this body, and I'll remove the dashboard and the steering wheel and that kind of stuff. Bumpers, literally, and I'm not kidding. You turn the car over and they fall off. And the steering wheel, the dashboard, that little assembly. Just very easily pulls out, and I also have the glass. It wasn't glued in either. It just comes out pretty easily. Now, here's what we're looking at, and I'll see if I can, let me see if I can get some more light on here for us, guys. There we go. It might help. There's two nubs. I'll see if I can zoom in here for you. Get the camera situated just right. There's two nubs that have to come out as far as the front there to allow the T-Jet chassis to work properly. We're going to grind those out. Plus, you see where the like the back screw post is that held the chassis in? That will have to be ground out as well. That'll have to be ground out. So what I'll do is I'm going to get a my Dremel tool and my little cutter bit, and we're just going to go ahead and get rid of those nubs, and I'll show you what it looks like. Then I'll go ahead and get rid of that back screw post as well. Alright, those nubs right there in the front, they're going to be ground down here in just a sec, but this is the little cutter blade that I got. I love using this. Take me just a little bit to get through those, and then we'll tackle the back screw post. Those little nubs aren't gone, guys. Ground those buggers right out. Seriously, 60 seconds, if that. They just went real quick. Now, the back screw post there, that bugger's got to go, guys. The positioning is off just a little bit. We're going to actually have to move it back just a smidge. But that's where we're at, and I'm going to go ahead and take care of the back screw post next. I'm going to use the same bit as far as on my Dremel. I love the way that thing just grinds out that metal. It's so efficient. Alright, as I said before, both the nubs in the front there are gone, and that back screw post is gone. Next, what do we got? We just literally we're done with what we need to do. We're going to do some reassembling. I'm going to go ahead and get the bumpers on. I'm going to glue them in. I'm going to get the windshield glued back in. The obviously the chassis won't be glued in or anything, and the steering wheel, the dashboard, that's not going to be reinserted either. Those are literally just going to be trash there. So that will be next, and let me show you what it looks like after we get the bumpers on. Coming a long way in a short period of time. Got the bumpers on, both the front and the back bumpers. Got the windshield re-glued in there like it should be. You know what's interesting? I said earlier this is a quick project. I was thinking about it a bit ago. It's taking me longer to film the video than it is doing the project, guys. That's how quick this is. I mean, to grind it out, we're talking less than a couple minutes to unscrew the chassis there and to gut it. It's seriously under 60 seconds. So I really think the video is taking me longer to shoot than it is making this thing. Guys, here's where we're at. We're seriously a couple of screw posts away from finishing this, but then we still have to address the the wheelbase. You know, so the wheelbase will fit the wheel wells that we got going on here. But the next step, guys, and it's my least favorite step, is anytime you do a gluing like this, we just got to let it dry. That's where I'm at right now, guys. I just have to literally push it away, either work on a different project, walk away from the bench. I got to do something, but I got to let it dry before we move on. Hey, guys, good morning. Well, I don't know if it's morning there, but it's morning here. Listen, everything's dried. I literally dried overnight. I got the chassis there in the back, the little pushcart chassis. Guys, sometimes if you want to use the rims and tires, they work very, very well to T-jets. That's probably something I would save there. Other than that, I'm going to get rid of the mechanism, the dashboard, all that stuff. I don't need it. And what I got there is the standard T-jet chassis. I've got the front axle off the wheels. They're off. And you see right there in the front, I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit better. But you see right there, the wheelbase that we need is right in between the front one and the back one. Well, I know we have the one in the middle there, it's up higher, and we're going to use smaller tires, so we literally have to make a hole right there in between all three of those buggers. And then what I got here, let me go ahead and grab it. I've got it's just a tube. And again, guys, I can't mention these guys enough. The guys at Gulf Coast Model Railroading, I'll put a link in the video. And guys, if you click the link, it'll take you to their webpage right now. It's an active link. But you see the tube? What I'll do is I'll drill a hole in the chassis there, but then I'll insert the tube, and then that will accommodate the axle that's going to go through there. So we're kind of making like a sleeve for the axle, because when I cut out with my X-Acto knife the area between those three holes, you better have a sleeve to fit in there. So I will go ahead and do that next, and we'll get it fit and see how it looks. Alright, real quick, you see how I cleaned out the three holes there? You know, now it looks like a, somewhat of a triangle. What I'll do is I'll put that tube, there it is, and in as a sleeve all the way through, and then we'll go ahead and put the axle on. And one thing I've learned is when you're using the metal tube, guys, throw a drop of oil in there, because it's it's going to have the axle in there, and if you're using the metal tube, good idea. So as I'm assembling it, I'll make sure and go ahead and oil it up. Just got the tube in it. It fits very snug, fits real good. What I'll do is I'll score a line right there on the outside with my X-Acto knife, that I'll know where to cut it. And when I'm cutting tube like this, guys, what I do is I just put it on the bench and I roll my X-Acto knife over it very gently. I don't want to, bend the tube or anything like that, so I take my time cutting it. So I'll go ahead and score it, cut it, and refit it into the chassis again. Just got the sleeve cut the length there, guys. Got on the end of the screwdriver. And what I did is I buffed the ends there. I don't want any of the metal shavings or anything, around it, so I made it real clean. We'll go ahead and put it in the chassis, and then we'll add the axle and the wheels, and yep, I'm going to oil it up, and let's see how it fits. Just inserting the axle and getting ready to oil it. Just wanted to point out, I didn't want to get any oil on the other end of the axle, so what I'm going to do is, as I'm sliding it through, I'm going to put the oil on it right about here, and as it goes in, it'll get into there and disperse quite evenly after that. And then we'll be on the end over there. But I just wanted to make a point, I didn't want to get any oil where I'm going to put the hubs on. Alright, I got the axle in, it's oiled in there, and I got the hubs and tires on. Looks pretty natural, doesn't it? Here's one thing, I'm getting ready to fit the T-Bird chassis on there. I know from doing many of these, the bumpers there, I'm going to have, now that the glue's dried, I'm going to have to sand some of those little nubs off there to accommodate the chassis and the shoes up front, the way it should. So I'm going to get my sander out with my Dremel, and I'm going to grind that stuff out, and we're going to go ahead and give the chassis a dry fit here in just a second. Alright guys, look at that. That little metal tube that we got from Gulf Coast Mountain Railroading. Without that little bugger, trying to put the wheelbase exactly where you need it, it's tough. So again, guys, if you need stuff like that, and here's another one. We're getting ready to do the screw post, and I know some guys use round. I'm kind of partial to the square. I really like how the square tube works as far as holding the standard T-jet screw in. I really like it. And again, Gulf Coast Model Railroading guys, those guys are exceptional down there. But I'm dry fitting it right now. We have the screw post to do next. I know I've covered those in a number of videos. Very, very easy to do. We'll first attach the screw post to the chassis, and then we will kind of guesstimate, the length that they should be cut at. Keep fitting it until we get the proper height. All right, guys, give me just a sec. First run at the screw post, guys. Let's see how it fits here. Just set it down, get it on there, see what we get. Yeah, I know it's wobbly, but the back end's a little bit too high, wouldn't you say? Let me go ahead and take that down a bit, front end a smidge as well, and see if we can get it to set just right. I'm liking it. I'm going to shave the back down just a little bit more, then I'm going to set it up for gluing. Here's one thing to keep in mind. Let me go ahead and turn this over. When you're gluing this up particularly, there is such a narrow fit from side to side there, guys. So be mindful. You got a tight fit, glue properly. Even what I'll do is I'll put shims in between the body to keep it exactly where it should be. So just do what it takes to make sure that when you glue those screw posts in, they're in the right place. All right, guys, that's what I'm going to do next. All right, looks like we got it right in place, and it is drying time, guys, so I'm not going to touch it for a bit. After it does dry, we'll put it on the track, see how it does, see if we have to make any fine-tuning adjustments or something like that. But until it dries, we just have to wait. All right, guys. All right. Everything's dry on the T-Bird there. Look at the wheel wells. I mean, it just like it hits it, and it's just right. So again, guys, a quick project, a fun project. Take a Hot Wheel, a Johnny Lightning or something. Even if the wheel wells don't match, you can do it. There's ways to do it. Now, there's been some. I'll be serious. There's been some that have stumped me in the past. Just couldn't do it. Couldn't figure out a way to do it. It was either interfering with the shoes or just couldn't get it just right. So, guys, fun project, quick project, and what takes a long time? Let the darn glue dry. All right. Hope you enjoyed the project. Jeff from Smokin' T-Jets.